Hey there, I'm Dan Martell, serial entrepreneur, investor, and creator of SaaS Academy. And in this episode, I'm going to share with you the 6 components for you to consider when positioning your product in an obviously awesome way. I'm going to share why I call it that in a second. And because maybe you're frustrated with the fact that people think that you're just like everybody else, or it's not distinct or unique in the market, or you feel like some people love it and a lot of people don't. I'm going to break down exactly how to think about your product, share some stories about mine, and give you some specific things that you need to do to improve that positioning. Be sure to stay to the end where I'm going to share with you an exclusive resource called the Trial Converter. It is a framework that my clients use to improve their trial conversions, to get the right people to show up, walk them through the setup flow, and most importantly, get to their aha moment. So let's dive in. One of the hardest things that you could do is position your product. It means the message that you go to the market, how you describe what you do, what you describe, what you front load, what do you expose first so that people understand the value in your solution. And if you've ever felt frustrated with this, I totally feel the pain. I had the problem when I built Clarity.fm, my last company. A lot of people see it today. We got acquired in 2014, huge success, but you didn't see the struggles along the way. When I launched it, it was a tool because I wanted a system to allow people to get on my call list, and that morphed slowly into a marketplace. And our growth was very slow because we didn't have a public directory for a long time. And slowly we understood the customer's use case and why they used it, and eventually launched it as a more broad, publicly available marketplace. The idea is if LinkedIn had a call button, that's what Clarity is. It still exists today. It's extremely successful. It continues to grow because of the marketplace dynamics. And it was while I was building that where I saw a user do about $9,000 in calls in one day. Okay, this guy named Omar from Miami. And I decided to call Omar because I had his number because it's in our platform. And I said, Omar, I need to understand, what did you believe to be true? When you obviously spent, it was an irrational amount of money. No other user had spent that much money in a day. And he did about 6 or 7 calls. And I said, what was it that you believed to be true that made you want to use our product, that obviously you thought there was a lot of value? And he said, dude, I can't even believe more people aren't using this. It's the best kept secret. It's amazing. I said, why is that? He said, in the past, when I've wanted to connect with those people to get advice, I'd have to find out if they were speaking at an event, go to the event, wait in line for the Q&A time, ask a question, and get a watered down response to my challenge. Now, you've got those same speakers on your platform, able to reach out to them, schedule a time, get 30 minutes to an hour, contextually specific to my world for a fraction of the cost, because I used to have to spend the time on the ticket for the event, to the flights, to the hotel, etc., the time away from the business. He goes, this is amazing. And that's when I went to the team and I said, look, I know we wanted to build this like global call thing and any person with a Twitter account could use it, but we need to focus on entrepreneurs, and not just any entrepreneurs that were growth minded, that believed that investing in information was important. But most importantly, if we had to get down to the specific positioning, is entrepreneurs that go to events. Why? Because they were willing to spend the appropriate amount of capital to solve their problems faster from the experts they were seeking. And once we changed the positioning, our growth almost tripled overnight. Now, everything I'm going to share with you in this video is 100% from April Dunford's book. Obviously awesome. It just came out recently. It's amazing. I read the whole thing. It's very rare that I've done kind of a book review, and this is not a detailed book review. The last time I think was Victor Cheng's book, Extreme Revenue Growth. But it is that important. These 5 core components and then a bonus component, she calls it in the book, so that's why it's 6. I'm going to go through and explain my perspective on why I think you need to consider these when you're doing your position, so you can have a product that the market absolutely loves. Product market fit. Sometimes the messaging and the positioning is what you need to tweak to make that happen. Let's get into it. The first component is competitive alternatives. I think it's really important that you ask your customers, what would they use if they couldn't use your product? Most entrepreneurs actually don't know what the competitive set looks fully. Sometimes, yes, it's, well, if we didn't exist, they'd have to do it manually. I get that. But there's many times that I've discovered when I ask a client, hey, what would people use if they couldn't use you? They didn't have the full list, right? What I'm looking for is, well, depends on the customer. If they're in this, they'd probably use this product, this product, this product. They do this, 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 and this. If we don't know what the competitive alternative looks like, then we don't know how to differentiate our product and how to position it properly. Number 2, unique attributes. What are the features or capabilities that make you different or that your competitors lack? Understanding clearly kind of what differentiates you. You might think, well, it's this, this, and this, but when you look at the market, they also have this. You want to find the opportunities, the holes in the competitive set that they lack that you've got, because that'll give you some indications of how you can properly position things. Number 3, value and really proof, right? What are the benefits from the features that add a ton of value for your customers? This is where we're looking for, ideally you have customers or early beta testers, that you've got examples of customers that have gotten real value from your product, like that it solved a problem. Okay, we need to figure out what value does our product derive, and not what we hope it to say, but asking our customers how they explain the value that our product solves for them or delivers for them. Number 4, target market characteristics. Here's what you want to find out. Maybe you think if you have 1,000 customers, within your customers, there's a group of buyers that absolutely love what you've built. And you got to find out what's true about those buyers. Just like in my example, when I reached out to Omar around Clarity, what's true about those buyers that creates some concept, some ideation around the target market that you want to serve. You've got to look at the customer base or your idea and say, what is it that's true? What do they look like? What do they share? What are the characteristics, their buying process, the pain point maybe? But you got to figure out what's true about that group. Number 5, market category. Every product should focus on a specific category that you serve, because in describing that market, what you're doing is you're helping your customers decide faster on how to buy. Okay, and April has this really great story about a CRM solution that they were building, and it was like a database CRM solution, and it was pretty broad in the markets they were going after, essentially the category. And when they discovered that for private equity firms, that this was the ultimate solution because of a specific unique feature that they had that made it exclusively valuable, they started competing against the existing CRM solutions out there. And that's what you want to kind of figure out is, when we describe the category we're in, it helps the customer decide, is this for me, and make them buy faster. Number 6, bonus round, relevant trends. What you want to think about, I think too often entrepreneurs start with this and they're like, there's a trend in the market, that's what we're going to say we are for why. Look, if all the other things, the other components that you need to evaluate to build, obviously awesome positioning are true, you go through that exercise, then finally, if there's a trend, but here's the kicker, it has to be a trend that your customer is aware of, because for you to say something around like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and your customers, in broadly speaking, don't really care or know about it, and it has to be relevant to them. So broadly, they need to be aware of it, and it has to be relevant to them in the industry and their trends. So look at the Gartner reports, the quadrants, the Accentures. Look at where the thought leaders are saying the market's going. Is there a specific trend that you can latch onto? You'll have that drafting effect, and it'll really help the positioning and make it more potent. But that is not a primary thing that you should be doing. You should be starting with the other 5 first. This is a bonus if it's true. Take it and run with it. So quick recap, the 6 components to consider when you're positioning your product for obviously awesome outcomes as per April Dunford. Number 1, competitive alternatives. Number 2, unique attributes. Number 3, value in brackets proof. Number 4, target market characteristics. 5, market category. And we got a bonus, relevant trends in the industry. So that is how we position our product in an obviously awesome way so you can create traction in your market. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I want to share with you an exclusive resource called the Trial Converter. It's my process for taking a sign up and converting them into a paying customer, getting them that aha moment. You can click the link, download that below. And if you know anybody that you think this video can support, feel free to share it with them directly. Smash that like button, subscribe to my channel. And as per usual, I want to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business, and I'll see you next Monday. Number 6.